Yeah, here we go now, baby. We are right back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Before You Bet. Aaron live right here on the Covers YouTube and X channels. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and that subscribe button right down there. A lot of great content here on the Covers YouTube channel. A couple big videos went up yesterday. Our official preview for the College Football National Championship game. Brad Powers and Jake Butt. A couple of the in-house guys here at Covers weighing in with their best bet for the big game on Monday night. Also, a big-time UFC pay-per-view going down on Saturday night, UFC 311. I got to interview the legend George St. Pierre to get his opinion on all the top fights. I also give out my best bets, so you can check that out right here on the Covers YouTube channel. Okay, so big NBA show planned today. We're going to save all of our NFL playoff picks for tomorrow's show. Lots to discuss. Pretty big game going down in OKC with the Cleveland Cavaliers, a rematch from about, a week and a half ago. That was one of the better games of the season. So I think we got like 7 total picks here. A couple topics to discuss as well. If you guys want to participate in the show, weigh in with some opinion, hit up that live chat. What do you like in the NBA tonight? Do you think Deion Sanders is going to be the next coach of the Cowboys? He'd really screw over that Colorado football program, wouldn't he? What do you like in the NBA? What do you like in the NFL here this weekend as well? Let us know. We will read a few responses off throughout the course of the show. Okay, let's talk a little NBA with our guy, the Magic Ass Man, Jon Metleler. John, how you making out?
Pretty good. I see in the chat there, Darren says not even OT could get Mikal Bridges' third assist. Yeah, he played like 45 minutes because he plays his normal 40 minutes. Then they went to OT and he finished on 2, which is always frustrating. But yeah.
Yeah, so funny night in the NBA last night. My trend that I love this season, it's the Memphis Grizzlies after a loss. They cover again in that spot. It's almost automatic. I think they're up to, 11-2, 12-2 against the spread in that spot now. But I got burned quite badly. I felt really good about that Denver Nuggets pick. And then I'm down here in my basement doing some work, just minding my own business, of course. And the alert comes up on the phone. Jokic is out. He will not be playing. Absolutely burned. I was not too happy about that. But I woke up this morning and heard about this result. The Clippers beat the Brooklyn Nets by 59 points. A franchise record, I believe. Did the Nets even get to 70 points? What did they score? 68, 69 points?
I think there's 67 or something.
Yeah, I tweeted this out this morning. I got to thinking, I am the number one guy who makes fun of these pathetic, mismanaged franchises, whether it be the Hornets or the Wizards in the NBA or the Jets or the Browns and the NFL, the Oakland A's in Major League Baseball. We don't give the Brooklyn Nets enough hate. I understand that they're tanking. They're going into a rebuild. You lost by 59 points, guys. And this is a team that isn't too far removed from having Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving on the roster. I talked about this a lot. I know the Kyrie situation was impossible. But could you guys not have figured that out? A couple of years before that, remember they traded for a washed-up Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce? Traded all those assets that the Celtics used to draft the core of their team right now. So, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets deserve more hate. One of the most mismanaged franchises in all of professional sports. It's an absolute joke. John, your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets?
I think the version of the Nets when they traded all those draft picks to the Celtics for Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, we're going pretty far back. And then the second version when they went for Durant, I think you can obviously make fun of him for all that, but this current setup, I think Jordi Fernandez actually will turn this around. And they actually, yesterday was pretty bad, but the win against Portland the day before was pretty impressive. They want to tank. They don't want to win games. He's just winning more games than he should. If they let Jordi Fernandez build this from the ground up, I think they'll actually turn into a pretty good organization. I mean, Jordi Fernandez
will screw it up.
No,
they will screw it up.
You think they'll panic and go for some superstar?
Oh, probably. They're gonna do something silly, I would imagine. They'll trade for Bradley Beal. That's exactly what the Brooklyn Nets will do, and get them to the 9th overall seed in the Eastern Conference. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they will turn around. I mean, to rebuild the right way in the NBA, you truly have to bottom out so that in that lottery, you will secure, a top 3 or 4 pick in the draft. So who
They
knows?
they have a
Go
ton
ahead.
of picks. They have a ton of picks. Like they got the like just from James Harden, from the Suns. I think they got picks, and then they have the Mikal Bridges trade. They got, what was it, 5 first-round picks from the New York Knicks. So it's not, they have a ton of assets. If they do, they probably need to steal, and this probably is their plan. They probably need to steal one guy top of the draft, and that's probably why they want to tank, and that's why they scored 67 points last night, and then turn around and use those other picks to get other guys to surround them with. So they'll probably do a little of both. I really like Jordy Fernandez, so I think they have something.
Okay, so some slight disagreement there, I guess you could say. So from the covers chat here, Zion on the Nets sounds about right. Yeah, that I could see them making that deal. T. Lee, speaking of Zion and the Pelicans, Pels are back. Flock up. T. Lee, I believe, was the guy defending Zion in the chat here yesterday. Okay, so before we get into the picks, the Golden State Warriors. I don't know, John, what's going on with them? Are they kind of throwing in the towel here on their dynasty with the guys getting up there in age a little bit?
Yeah, they're kind of rumored for trades. They're obviously near, they're not even the plan for the Western Conference here from like a playoff perspective. And you've seen Stephen Curry come out and say, don't sell our future for one more championship run. And you've seen Draymond Green saying the same thing. And then I think Steve Kerr was kind of talking about it. Now they questioned Stephen Curry about it yesterday. And he was like, we're not throwing in the towel. I want to be on a competitive team. We just don't want to see the organization completely ruin their future for one more run. And I think my main takeaway from all that is that I don't think there's much time left for Stephen Curry or Draymond Green. And I think they know that. So in terms of, I don't think you're going to see Stephen Curry play till he's 40. I think he's basically telling you, get on League Pass and watch me right now, because this might be it for them. That's what I take away from that. If you thought you had 3-4 years left and there wasn't more of a championship window, why would you not tell them to trade first round picks and Jonathan Kuminga? But if you're saying don't do it, that makes me feel like maybe it's this year. Honestly, he doesn't strike me as a guy who would go for a big like victory lap celebration for a full year retirement thing. The thing that really strikes me is that he's a 4-time champion, NBA Finals MVP, NBA MVP, and now Olympic gold medal. And he's probably maybe looking at like what's left to win. And maybe it's over type thing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Things didn't really click with the Warriors when they tried to do the whole thing of merging a little bit of a youth movement with the core that they had of Steph, Draymond, and Clay. It was Kuminga and James Wiseman who fizzled out, as you recall. That was a draft. Did they have an opportunity to draft LaMelo? But the backcourt was obviously crowded. Anthony Edwards went first overall. Yeah. I remember. But yeah, that's a hard thing to pull off in the NBA. The Spurs kind of did it when they had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili, and then they bring Kawhi in, and Kawhi all of a sudden was the best player on that team. But it's a bit of a unique thing, hard to pull off. So yeah, I think he will do the retirement tour, though. Yeah. There's a way to monetize it, and he wears Under Armour shoes. They would get involved in it somehow. So yeah, I think they'd be leaving a lot of money on the table if they didn't do that. Now that's not to say, like I remember LeBron James last season. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the whole retirement tour thing. It's like, yeah, right, dude. You're going to announce that 2 years in advance. I remember, I think Derek Jeter's might have been the most insufferable. You go somewhere as in the team, gives you a rocking chair, and they do all this stuff like that. Kobe's was pretty good, I guess, but yeah, I think he'll end up doing it. So we'll see, and hopefully the NBA can start building out with some new stars. Okay, John, we have 7 total picks here. Some good-looking games in the NBA here tonight, headlined by Cavs Thunder. Thunder are favored by 1.5 points. I have a prop for that game. Also, a good-looking game, Rockets Kings. I have a pick for that game. But let's start here with the suddenly not so horrible Detroit Pistons. They are favored at home versus the Pacers. You have a pick on the spread and a prop. Let's start with the spread first.
Yeah, I went Pacers +3. So this is kind of bouncing around. It's like there was a 3.5, then 3, and now you're kind of looking at 2.5. It's kind of moving in this window here. The number I did grab was +3. I think that so there's no Tyrese Halliburton. He's out, or I think he's doubtful. I don't think he's playing either way. I mean, if he plays, that's great, but he's out. Benedict Mathurin has been suspended because he got 2 technicals the last game. I don't know if you saw that. He hung on the rim as a brutal call. So he's out as well. The one that I think the key here is Andrew Nembhard in this matchup. If I would actually be more concerned if like Haliburton was in and Nembhard was out, because Nembhard's an elite defender in this league. And when it comes to the Pistons, everything flows through Cade Cunningham. Can you stop Cade Cunningham from creating? I think Nembhard is one of those guys. So it's one of those matchups you're looking at. You're probably like, oh, I don't like that Haliburton's out. I don't like that Mathurin's out. But I think Nembhard is the key to this matchup. And the one guy who I was kind of like looking at was Aaron Nesmith. He's been out for, I think, beginning of November. He's listed as questionable. He's been upgraded to questionable. So is he playing? Because that would be a nice upgrade into their lineup as well. It gives him another wing defender. So +3, just felt like it should be closer to like a pick. So I went with the Pacers.
Okay, and you're targeting a player prop for this game as well. Who are you looking at?
Yeah, I went Siakam, 4+ assists, +150. So like I said, Tyrese Haliburton's out, Bennett Mathurin's out. Those are 2 big usage pieces. And you're just looking at it, he obviously has to get more touches. Like your offense, you need someone on offense to create more. And against the Pistons, there's not really like a elite defender who's going to take Siakam out. And you would think there would be like a minutes bump a little bit just for him. He's usually about 33 minutes. Like, would you be shocked if it's 30, 36, 37? No, just because you're down 2 guys, right? So you can kind of see that. And then, with Mathurin out and Haliburton out, Haliburton obviously gets pulled off the ball, but you're putting in a Ben Shepherd, and Ben Shepherd's pretty much just catch and shoot. You'll probably see a little bit more Obi Toppin minutes, and he's really good for converting potential assists because he's catch and shoot or he's a lob threat. So kind of the replacements coming in, it's not like someone who's just going to like completely steal those potential assists. So I like that's an alt too. There's like 2.5 -160. I'd go for the 4+ +150.
Okay, let's go to the game of the night in Oklahoma City. The Cavaliers in town. Revenge game spot for the Thunder, who I wanted to take, favored by 1.5, but I see that their center, Hartenstein's out. So that kind of scared me off. So got to do a bet for the big game. My favorite bet for the big game is for Cavaliers center Jared Allen to record a double-double coming in at -130 odds. So he was the best player on the floor for the Cavs when these teams played back on January 8th. He had 25 points, 11 boards. I was originally thinking to bet his points and rebounds prop at 24.5 at around -110. But I think attacking it this way makes more sense. He is the Cavs' top rebounder, top 10 in rebound chances over the last 10 games in the NBA. And I do think he's going to be able to convert on a lot of those rebound chances because Hartenstein is out for OKC, and that absence is huge. He's 5th in the NBA in rebounds. No one else on the floor for the Thunder is even close to him. So I think the Cavs will have a nice advantage on the inside. John, before we move on to your next prop, any thoughts on the big game of the night here between Cavs Thunder?
Yeah, it's I'm curious to see if the Thunder run back the defensive strategy they did with Donovan Mitchell last time out, because they did lose, and they were blitzing him, getting the ball out of his hands, and they were basically putting the pressure on. He's got to give it to his centers in the middle of the court there. That was Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. I'm curious to see if they run that back, especially because you said Hartenstein is out, and so I'm also they're blitzing Donovan Mitchell, but Alex Caruso is also back. So like from like a wing perspective, you have Lou Dort on Donovan Mitchell. You have Alex Caruso probably on Jarius Garland. So I feel like the pressure is on those bigs. Jared Allen, I like that Jared Allen prop a lot too. I just don't think they have the size. It's Jalen Williams is now you're starting, like you're out Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, right? Yeah. That's a way different. I think that blitzing strategy would work if it was like a playoff series and it was like Chet at the nail guarding, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and then Isaiah Hartenstein backing him up. I don't think that strategy can work with those 2 guys out. So I'm just kind of curious to see how the Thunder, what adjustments they make.
Okay, let's keep rolling here with the picks. You submitted this one in our little pre-show meeting. And I thought, who in the hell is this guy? And you cleared things up for us. So it's Carlton Carrington. So clear things up and give us what the pick is here.
It's Carlton Carrington over 9.5 points. He's a rookie from Pitt. They call him Bub Carrington, but the sportsbook lists him by this name, his actual name. So it's confusing when you give out these bets because people are like, I don't see Bub Carrington in the sportsbook. So at over 9.5 points, he's playing against the Phoenix Suns. Good match. It's a good matchup for him because Tyus Jones is probably going to be his primary defender, and Tyus Jones is just not a good defender by any means. And Carrington's got thighs on him too. Tyus Jones is pretty small just in general. From like a minutes perspective, you feel pretty good because Malcolm Brogdon is out. That's kind of the guy who would kind of steal some minutes from Bub Carrington there. He's gone under 4 straight times. His total's 9.5. It's really his 3 ball. He's just struggling to shoot, but you have to love the attempts. That's the one thing when you look at these guys going under, it's like, are they going under because they're not getting shots and they're not involved? Or are they going under because they're just missing? So he's 3 for 21 from 3 his last 4 games. So, I mean, that's like 5 or 6 threes a game. I mean, your total's 9.5. I know he's got a good mid-range jumper as well. So just feels low. It feels like he's got the best matchup on the floor against Tyus Jones. Also Pete says Kuzma 26.5 because it's the same game. I bet Kuzma, not last game, the game before, I bet over his points total, and he had 3. So he kind of had
3 points.
Yeah, he had 3. So that wasn't fun, but he did mathematically. I did see an edge. If you're asked, that's what you're asking me. I did see an edge on Kuzma's over. I went with Bub Carrington.
Yeah, sometimes you make these bets and you're just not even remotely close.
Yeah.
In any way, I think like even that, like the Clippers game, I think they were favored by around 15 points in that game against the Nets. The sportsbooks knew something was up. I wish I had bet that, but I did not. Okay, pretty good looking game, I think, in Sacramento. The Houston Rockets in town. This game has a total 225.5, and I like the over for this one. Let's get right into it. So Houston red hot on offense here, guys. Number 1 in offensive rating over the last 5 games. They've scored at least 119 points in 5 straight games. Their defense, though, which was their calling card throughout most of the season, is falling off. 21st in defensive rating over that 5-game span. Lots of high-scoring games for Sacramento here lately as well. 4 of their last 6 games have gotten into the 240s in terms of combined scoring for the team. So lots of high scoring there. So how are they going to get there? Expect a lot of action from 3-point land and at the free throw line. Go back to that 5-game sample size. 2nd and 5th in threes made per game. Houston's defense is getting killed from 3-point land. They are dead last in the NBA in opponent 3-point percentage in that span. Also allowing a lot of free throws, but they are getting to the free throw line more than any other team in the NBA in that span. Good time to be taking the over in Rockets games. Okay, player prop you like for this game, Jalen Green.
Yeah, I like that you like the over because I'm going Jalen Green over 2.5 assists. So it's a back and back to back, but it wasn't really a stressful game against Denver Nuggets. He only played 30 minutes, which is pretty kind of low for Jalen Green. When you're looking at this matchup, if he's going to get assists, it's going to be Alperen Şengün pick and roll. Can he score on his matchup? And that's Domantas Sabonis, not really an elite like rim protector, can move his feet, obviously. So you like that. I think the thing that really, really popped for me was, so they have 2 injuries, right? Jabari Smith Jr. is out. Tari Eason is out. Those are 2 guys that played a lot of minutes. So you're seeing more Cam Whitmore, more Amen Thompson. Cam Whitmore is a scorer. Like the guy can score. He can shoot the ball. So when you're passing him the ball, like in terms of converting potential assists, that's a huge difference between Tari Eason and Cam Whitmore. And then Amen Thompson, he's not the best shooter, but as like he kind of hangs out in the dunker spot a lot, or he's a really good cutter and he plays above the rim. So when you're talking about like Jalen Green getting the lane and dumping to someone, Amen Thompson can dunk it at the rim. And that's, again, another just in terms of like converting potential assists. So I do like that those 2 guys are kind of in the lineup here. I think that helps Jalen Green. So on over 2.5 assists.
Okay, last but not least, fresh off a 59-point win, a franchise record, the Clippers, they're at it again tonight, 2nd game of a back-to-back in Portland against the Trailblazers, and I'm going to take those Clippers to keep rolling, -6.5. So this is a team that does not play down to the competition. They are an NBA best 11-4 against the spread as a favorite. They take full advantage of playing lesser opponents. They did smack around the Blazers when they played back on December 3rd. They beat them by 22 points. Massive, enormous edge on the defensive end of the court. Last 10 games, 2nd versus 26 in defensive rating. Plenty of games where Portland really struggled to crack 100 points on the offensive end of the court. And I know some people, 2nd game of a back-to-back, you don't want to bet the team. Light work for LA starters last night. They won by 59 points. Like I said, not one of their starters played more than 24 minutes last night. So very light night. They should be feeling fresh for this one. That's it for NBA picks. We can recap here.
I was gonna say quickly, do you think the Clippers are the best team nobody's talking about like at all? They're top of the Pacific Division. You didn't really expect much of them. Like just from they don't really have like the flashy names, but like Chris Dunn defends, Derek Jones Jr. defends. You get Kawhi Leonard back.
Well, that's it. Fifth place in the Western Conference right now. Really good defensively. The thing with it, Kawhi Leonard, sounds weird to say Kawhi Leonard's the X factor though for this team. Like I don't even bother looking to see if he's going to be in the lineup. I am assuming he's not playing tonight for full disclosure, making this pick. But even like I looked at the box score of that game when they won by 59, and I said, "Oh, Kawhi Leonard played. That's interesting." So who knows, man, if he can get back playing regular. I think the West is kind of. I mean, the Thunder are obviously the best team. What's the status of Chet Holmgren? Will he be back here at some point soon?
They said they'll give us an update at 9 to 10 weeks, and then I think it's past that 10 weeks, and they haven't really given us an update. That was kind of the last thing I saw. So we should know pretty soon what his status is. We haven't even seen like Hartenstein was out when Holmgren was in, and then Holmgren was out when Hartenstein. So we haven't even seen those two together. Like the Thunder are the best team in the West, and we haven't even seen that defensive pairing. So the Thunder are the best team. I just think the Clippers are the one you're just kind of, because you look at the Lakers, it's like flashy. Phoenix Suns flashy and like kind of in that division, and the Clippers are in first. So
yeah, the Thunder, they're kind of like in a tier all by themselves here at the top of the Western Conference, and then you can make an argument of 5-6 teams to be grouped into second tier, and that would include the Clippers. The season ended today. The Suns would not even be in a play-in spot, so they got to put their foot on the gas here desperately. This
goes for you, chat, anyone watching. If I ever recommend a futures bet on the Phoenix Suns anymore, can everyone please yell at me? It's just not there. Like I did it again this year. I bet them to win the NBA Finals. I think 35-1 before the year started. It just not working. So if I ever recommend something in the future, I just need everyone to be like, take that back.
Yeah, it does not appear to be working. Kevin Durant might be in a new uniform here at the start of next season. We shall see. Okay, that does it for the show here today. To recap the picks, Jared Allen, double-double, minus 130. I would like to see him get 10 blocks and 10 steals to get the double-double. That's the type I'm going for. It will most likely be points and rebounds. So Rockets Kings over 225.5 and Clippers minus 6. And a half, Pascal Siakam 4+ assists plus 150. Pacers plus 3. Carrington, otherwise known as Bub Carrington, over 9.5 points, and Jalen Green over 2.5 assists. Okay, so big show coming up tomorrow. It is our NFL divisional round playoff pick show. Jon Metler is going to be here as well. Good looking night in the NBA. If you guys like the show, it's very easy to let us know. Hit that like button right down there. It takes about half a second to do so. Make sure you are subscribed as well. Makes our content a lot easier to find. Okay, so thanks to Jon for joining. Thanks to producer Mick, put together a great show. Excellent job on the recap graphics today. Shout out to BetMGM, our sponsor. Make sure you check them out for all of your sports betting needs. And the biggest thank you of all goes out to all the great viewers for tuning in. Enjoy the games tonight. Best of luck with your bets, and we'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Let's go, Clippers! Woo!